Hello guys and welcome to the channel. This is Paper Roll. In today's video I want to address a question that I get frequently a lot on comments on YouTube, asked by Whisper, mail in game, stuff like that, even Discord, why I don't run Celestial with my main build, the ultimate bleeder druid, how I call it, or people would simply call it the immobilize druid. And it's simply, the simple answer is for this build I find Celestial is inferior, it is weaker in general, and especially it is squishier. This is how I describe it. And a lot of people get confused about this, why Celestial will give you more stats, it is very useful, it will add to everything you do and stuff like that. Some people even run the calculation wrong. So you don't have to agree with me, you don't have to change your Celestial, but if you want my advice, or at least this video might help you get more informed about it to make informed decision if you're crafting your own build and stuff. So pay attention to this video because we're gonna discuss a lot of points in details. So Celestial in general give you stats in everything that will affect your character, from power to condition duration, power, precision, toughness, vitality, everything. But it gives you a small amount of stat in everything. The collective of it is much higher than any other stat type. So in game in general, Celestial is the highest amount, it's like more than 5k. It gives you 639 to every stat point if you run Ascended or Legendary, like the max, in everything. While if you're running a 4 stat type, like my main build, I run a trailblazer, armor and shortbow, apothecary, staff and trinkets, except the back it's already trailblazer also. For 4 stats you will have a little bit more than 3 stats, but way less than 4 stats. You get a major type in 2 and a minor type in 2. In 3 stats you get 1 major and 2 minor types with the highest amount number. So if you're running a 3 stat only to get the most concentrated amount of stat in one area, this is how it will look like. I have 2 pieces are not actually berserker, I don't have berserker accessory, so it would increase more than 60 extra and stuff, but everything as you see here is ascended, and even my staff is legendary, so these are all the same. And it's more than 1,300. It's will be close to 400 in the major thing, and a bit less in any other. For the minor, it's close to 1,100, but it is extremely concentrated. So the advantage of Celestial that make a lot of people think it is simply the most powerful and stuff like that, that it will give you everything. So you don't have to be very glassy with the bar. You will have extra toughness, extra vitality to help you around. You would have some extra healing, but the major thing that people will think of it as powerful is the boon duration. And only Celestial, no boon duration rune, no putting any more investment in it, it almost close to 50%. It's 42+%, but it's very close. And if you're running even rune like the back or something like that, it will be even way much more. And that will help you in both your damage and survivability. It will make the might last for longer, easier access to fury, stuff like that. And even for survivability, more protection, vigor, regeneration, so you dodge more, you lower the damage coming to you, not only getting some toughness in it, stuff like that. So it's very beneficial if your build already produce a lot of boons, because Celestial will not give you boons, it will simply increase the duration. So when is Celestial is very strong, because I myself use it in my hybrid druid, the one with the longbow. You can check all my builds in the description. I use it mainly to destroy siege, around keeps and even zergs, stuff like that. And even with my hybrid soul beast, for example. It's when you can get the value of at least most of the stats, even if not all of them, and better even if all of them. So I use a longbow and staff, they are both bar weapons, but it is mainly focused on condition damage, and I still run sharpen stone and entangle, so it helps with my condition damage, condition duration, it helps with my healing since I'm a druid, and even I put might and quickness and stuff like that in it, so I get even the benefit of the boon duration, I get use of the fury since I'm running a power build. And even it put in my toughness and vitality. So as you start to see while I'm going through the stats, I get value to every stat in it, so it is still good. However, it make my build a bit weak in damage, because as you see, power is only 1,639, and even I run back rune and stuff like that, so it's like 1,800 or something. However, it's not 2,500 or more. so the damage become a little less, and that problem even persists with condition damage. As you see, all what you will get in condition damage is much less. It's also the 639, but I run antitoxin rune, which give me a little bit extra condition damage. So your condition damage will take a hit, your power damage will take a hit, even your precision will take a hit. It's only 35. The fury will add more to it obviously, but it already took a hit. The ferocity even not close to 200, and it's just keep going on. So you get everything, but you get a small amount of it. Now with my main druid build, the one I run actually with trailblazer and apothecary. Like I said, I don't run celestial. So with this build, short bow in general is scale lower with power. It's not like longbow. The more power you put in, you barely will get any numbers that worth mentioning, and all those 600 plus will barely add something to it. That's way less than you can put for condition, and most of them are completely pointless attacks. Even staff is designed to be a support weapon, and it have nerfed it across the years. It do a lot less damage than you would expect. Most of its skills are completely useless for damage. This is healing only. This is immobilize and barely do any damage. This also healing only. So it's not a dependable weapon. The only skills that would really make a difference is Celestial Avatar 5 actually. It can hit very hard in the last balls if you can last it. And all other skills are only healing, so no actual damage tied to them. We do not count on setting up burst for our bits. We do not use great sword, so there is no point in using power. And if we don't get any value in power, that means also precision and ferocity become meaningless. And remember, we are running healing trap, so we are not running even sharpened edges, which is already quite a weak trait. So precision or critical chance will not help us trigger bleed on critical, so all critical hits are equal to non-critical hits since we are running a condition build. So that's already 3 stat types that completely useless. They did not give us anything. Now a second thing in this build, we do not have any way to defend ourselves except simply an extra dodge from that, lightning reflexes, short bow. We can build up a little bit of protection through our bit, hunker down for turtle, and rug growth from our own dodges. We do not have blocks, we do not have barriers, we do not have signets of stone, we don't have any way to just completely nullify damage or defend ourselves. We only can heal and keep healing up. Other than that, we either create distance or dodge. And since I am using Healing Spring with Antitoxin, I can cleanse 3 conditions every 2 seconds, not only 2, and this skill is very low healing, and if it's mainly used for cleansing now, not for healing, you can even apply it and use some of this, lose some of this healing because you didn't even lose that much health to begin with, and you're not mainly using it for the healing. Unlike Troll Engwent, which is favored by many rangers, this one will add to your healing comparing to healing and protection, and now you get regeneration and Celestial Avatar and staff. So we need a lot of healing. Now if we compare the idea of healing in general, in my Trailblazer Apothecary mix I get more than 2k toughness, and since I don't have this much healing to count on like Troll Engwent, I need to not get this much hits. So I can nullify projectile by my bit skill and my staff. I can stay in position and stick to my trap if I want to and keep getting regeneration, more protection. I don't have to keep running and kiting too much. With the extra toughness, since like I said I don't have blocks or barrier or anything else, I can take hits. I don't get hit for 5k, I get hit for 4 or something like that. So I can take that hit and I don't have that much health to begin with. Unlike Celestial, as you can see, my health is much more but my toughness is much less, so I will get hit for more and I yet want to heal all that health up again. So the extra vitality doesn't mean this much. And even for sinking condition, since we have a lot of condition cleanse because of the trap, survival skills, Celestial Avatar and energy sigil on staff, so I don't need this extra vitality, however I need the extra toughness. So I can stick near my bed or inside my trap or my projectile barrier, take the hit and still heal back up. Now not only the toughness is that, check my healing power since I'm running staff as apothecary, or even check it with Trailblazer on the short bow. Comparing to on celestial gear, it's not even close to short bow, but if you go with my main one, it's much more. And in this build, you don't have to run the exact same thing. You don't have to run full Trailblazer here and apothecary there. You can have both your weapons the same thing, so you don't feel the difference. You can have both weapons as celestial, in my opinion. But the other thing I will always keep as trailblazer and apothecary. I get the extra toughness, I get even the extra healing, and that for the survival bit. So if I run celestial, I will get longer protection. So from dodges, for example, I get protection for right growth. I will get almost an extra second from celestial. That will increase my healing and will reduce the damage for extra 3/4 of a second. But that's obviously way less efficient than having toughness. Protection is much shorter. I will not keep spamming dodges. I don't have this much, it's only 2. And even when it's gone, I will still have my toughness. Even when it's corrupted or I get vulnerability, I will still have my toughness, but I will not always have my protection. And even the extra healing it offers, it's not compared to a staff or as apothecary and the extra healing power in general. Other than the protection, I only have vigor and it's very long duration. I don't really need to increase it. Fury is useless and stability is good enough, and increasing it will not feel that much difference. We have it for 3 seconds, and if it is for celestial, it's 4 seconds plus, so it is more convenient, obviously. And like I said, if you run your weapon at least celestial, like let's change our staff to celestial since it's legendary and give you an example. So if both your weapon in this build is celestial, you will still increase it a little bit. Even staff is more than 3 seconds, which is a bit decent to give you a better room for error. It's not as good as having full celestial, obviously, but it is very minor to change all your gear for simple 1 second of stability and a little bit of protection. Now that's for the survivability part, but that's not the only thing we're talking about here. It's also for damage. Celestial is much weaker for damage. Short bow and staff are significantly less efficient on power. We already explained this part, so power damage is useless. However, for condition, I want you to check these numbers. On my short bow, the dire one, my condition damage is 1200 plus, and that can be even increased by food. Let's run the same food I run with all my builds, those two, and check our numbers. So it's more than 1k and 300, and my expertise is 414. Basically, my duration for condition is 27%. Check the numbers themselves on short bow. If I'm not flanking, it's 340, it's 3500, and even my sharpened stone is 1k 300 plus, and my root, whether I get it from entangle or from the trait ancient seed, it's 6800. However, if we go with the celestial version, the root went down to 5900, 1k close to 200, and for short bow it's not even 300, and this one also went down by like 200 or more. So all the damage is actually less. So I take hits for more and I apply my own hits for less. And not only that, I want to check something very important. Look, that bleeding will happen across 3 seconds. That one will happen across 11 and 3/4, and that one will happen across 11 and 3/4. While on trailblazer it will happen across 10 seconds and a quarter, 10 seconds and a quarter, and even the auto attack will happen only in 2 seconds and a half. So it's more damage and faster ticking. It happens in a shorter period of time, which means it's even more efficient than just an extra number of damage. So typically with condition you want a bit long duration, so people don't simply get spiked or wait it out and it's gone. No, it wanted to stick and force them to use condition cleansing, but you wanted to have a high damage so they can simply ignore that they have it. They're not bleeding for 100 across 20 seconds. No, they're bleeding for 500 across 9 seconds or something like that. So this is the best mix, and you already have it with trailblazer and apothecary. So you need healing as a druid, your healing is better. You need condition damage, you're a condition build, your condition damage is better. You need to survive for toughness, it is better. You don't need power, you don't need to build in it. Your weapon is not suited for it, and you simply don't have it. So power, precision, ferocity are useless, we don't have them. And even boon duration can help us, but we do not count on boon, we do not have might, we don't need fury, we barely use protection and get value of vigor, we already have them, and we are not a build that count on boon in any shape or form, which means we don't mind not having a boon duration. What we want is condition damage, condition duration, healing power, toughness and vitality as a condition player, and we have those in this mix. So I hope that clarified the whole point of why Celestial versus Trailblazer and Apothecary. The general idea in Celestial, if you can get the value of most of those stats, it can be very beneficial. If you can get the value of it, but your build really count on spiking like high burst damage for a power build or something like that, you can't count on Celestial still, because you will break how the build work. If you don't have value from most of the stats, it might work on your build if it can take it, but it is a way to nerf your build down, and it will be suitable to use it until you can master the build and run it without the value of Celestial as toughness or stuff like that. If that's what your build lack, in case if it's glassy, or if the lack of higher damage if your build is supposed to count on it. If you can't get the value of Celestial in general or in most of its stats, then Celestial is generally a not good option. Or at least there will be better option. It might still work with many builds if they not necessarily count on the higher burst or the higher healing if you support or something like that. It might still work, but other than that, feel free to do what you want or play as you like it, and I will stick to my Trailblazer and Apothecary mix. And the last point, the only thing you can change and the build will still function the same and very useful if you want to change both your weapon into Celestial, if you want to run it like me, but keep the armor Trailblazer and keep everything else the same. I'm running this Trailblazer and this Apothecary, not Celestial, I changed it in the video. Ask me anything if you want in the comments or put your feedback, and I'll be seeing you next time. Peace.